This program was made possible in part by the continuing contributions from viewers like you. Thank you.
Little dance move, little sidestep, and that's the Taylor Hill that we've known for the last couple years.
Jones reaches in, gets the rebound, but Taylor can't get the short-range shot. Buford with the rebound, and she cleans up the mess. Taisha Smith drives, uses the backboard to sink one. Central will go to the free throw line from here on out. Taylor with the right-handed layup. We're going to start with the starting lineups. We will begin with the visiting Cretin-Derham Hall Raiders. For Cretin-Derham Hall, the starting five will be Kaylin Wilcox at forward, Natalie DePalma at guard, Sarah Hendricks at forward, Lisa Springer at guard, and Kendra Harris at center. Kendra Harris, the player to watch over Cretin-Derham Hall, third in the Suburban East Conference in rebounds, and Cretin's last solid post player. For St. Paul Central, the starting five will be Kiana Johnson at guard, De'Ara Taylor at guard, Javante Hill at guard, Samantha Robinson-Ricks at forward, and Katavia Jones at center. As we talked about in the open, De'Ara Taylor, the player to watch for with St. Paul Central, scoring 21.8 points per game. Last season, she put up just 14 points per game. You can clearly tell how badly Central needs her this year. And we welcome you to Central High School. If things look a little different than the last time we were here, last time we were here was the 2008 Twin Cities Championship. Central's put in a new floor. They replaced that old vinyl court with the hardwood, and the bleachers got a makeover as well.
And it looks very, very nice.
One thing I don't understand, though, is why there's still no state banner. They've won 4, and including 2 in a row. You'd think they'd have them up by now.
Exactly. You know, that's very disappointing, but it's not unlike a city school. I hate to say it, but...
Well, I'm not the athletic director, so I don't make those decisions, so I will...
We'll leave it at that,
I will leave it at that, yes. But some other changes. Cretin-Derham Hall wearing some new jerseys as well. Sporting a new look, kind of like the Chicago Bears.
They are nice and clean looking.
And Central wearing their familiar red jerseys that really haven't changed in the last few years beyond the striping patterns.
No, they haven't, actually. They've been the same for quite a few years now.
You can tell we've been following high school basketball for way too long.
Exactly. We know what the uniforms are.
Speaking of jerseys, Central wearing their home red, Cretin wearing white. Again, Central coming into tonight at 4-1, Cretin at 0-4. Willie Taylor said that statistic could be misleading. We are bound to get a good contest here. There's the tip-off. Cretin with the first possession. Lisa Springer with the ball. Central playing in man. We may also see a lot more full-court press this year than last. Willie Taylor said his team is fast, but they lost some height after last year's players graduated.
Right, I think he'll try to use his small lineup to really pressure teams this year.
Pump fake, that was Wilcox. Hendricks, no good. Rebound, Javante Hill. She's the cousin of Taylor Hill. Johnson thought about a three, pump fakes. Resets to Hill. Catavia Jones, swish.
Nice
she hesitated for a second, but went in. And De'Ara Taylor with the steal. Stops, pops, no. Rebound Hendricks. Wilcox to Springer. A lot of new faces with Cretin this year. They've had quite a bit of turnover in the last couple of years, and with players like Alyssa Carroll and Carolyn Dienhard, Molly Geske all leaving. And Amy Bell is not liking what she's seeing in the early going. She calls timeout, 16:37 left to go in the first.
Yeah, it seems like they were a little unsure of what kind of offense they wanted to run, so they were looking over at Coach Bellis, and just the communication wasn't there, so she had to call the timeout.
I see you've got a broadcaster in training right now.
We do. We have my daughter Jada along. Jada, you want to say hi?
No.
Well, by saying no, she said hi anyway.
Well, I'll tell her this. She's got a few years left. I wouldn't be in a hurry to worry about what she's going to do just yet.
Right.
It was a 30-second timeout. Springer looking for an open Harris. Harris on the left side gets the bounce. Tied up at 2. Cretin looks like they're playing a man. I don't see the boxing one. There it is. For 3, Javante Hill, no good. Out of bounds, Cretin-Derham Hall will take possession.
It looks like Natalie DePalma is the one that's all over De'Ara Taylor.
Central, one of those teams, they somewhat slow starters. They really get things going later on. Hendricks open on the left side, too strong. Possession will stay with the Raiders.
Yeah, Central really missed their player on that. She was wide open on the weak side.
Left side open. Harris from the free throw line gets the basket. Harris gets with all 4 of Cretin's points, still early. Hill to Taylor. Outside to Johnson. No good. Rebound. Wilcox.
Oh, good tip by De'Ara Taylor.
And Javante Hill with the steal. Goes to Taylor. Taylor on the right side. Gets the layup. De'Ara Taylor gets on the board. There's that full court press that Central is using. It worked to perfection 2 years ago. Harris open again. That is the weakness with the full court press, though. You leave your players open at the other end, but Cretin will take possession, much to the dismay of Central fans.
Yeah, it was a little hard to see from our angle.
Wilcox to Hendricks. That one nearly broken up. They're going to go to Harris again on the weak side. 3 straight baskets for Harris. She has all 6 of Cretin's points.
She's just so strong on the inside.
When she's had some time to develop, she's been on this team as a sophomore. or since she was a sophomore. And she's had some great players to assist her. Johnson playing quarterback. Last year, it took her a little while to step into that role replacing Robinson. This year, she looks a lot more comfortable.
Yeah, she definitely had enough time to get settled in it, that's for sure.
Robinson-Rick's no good. Rebound Hendricks. Javante Hill with the steal, and she's got an open Thierra Taylor, and she gets a left-handed layup. Taylor showing off her ambidexterity.
Exactly. What a nice assist.
And that's what Iowa will be glad to have next year. De Palma to Harris. Harris again draws the foul. She's going to the free throw line. Harris coming into the night, 60% from the line, 4 of 10. Free throw shooting, not one of her strengths. But she gets the front end.
As powerful as she is in the paint, that's definitely part of her game that she'll really want to improve on. I'm guessing she'll be at the line quite a bit this year.
She gets both. Cretin has 8 points. Harris has all 8. In fact, she's already approaching her season average at 9.3 on the other end. Hill goes to Taylor. Taylor in trouble. Goes to Johnson. Hill thought about a 3. Goes back to Taylor. Taylor to Jones. Jones, long 2. No good. Springer with the board. Hill tried to get the pick. No success.
And this is kind of, Mike, what I was talking about before the game, that the other players on Central's team are wide open. They need to knock some of these shots down.
Central shot just 26%. Harris again. Are you kidding me? It's the Kendra Harris show.
Central really does not have an answer for Kendra's big post body down low.
She's gone left. She's gone right. She's even put one in from 15 feet. Hill for 3. No. Taylor races to get the rebound. She does just before the corner. Now she wants a 3 of her own. Not even close. Hill, rebound, cleans up the mess.
Nice putback.
10-8. And while Kendra Harris is doing well, I think Cretin wants to spread the scoring out a little more if they want to pull away with this. They can't rely on just one player.
Right.
Hendricks looking to get on the board. Bullseye! Of course it happens just when I talk about it. Harris is on the board. Hendricks is on the board. Robinson-Ricks got out of trouble. And now Springer with the steal. She has numbers if she wants to go for it. She tries, but the play is broken up.
Yeah, Kiana was able to get her hand in there. That was a good play.
Our first substitution in the game. Jenna Hoffman replaces Kaylin Wilcox. Hoffman, a 6'1" junior forward. Hendricks wants another 3, not this time. Rebound Johnson. Central has numbers if they want to go for it. Javante Hill, up and in.
And that's what I'm sure really wants to see a little more of. Let them get out and run the floor a little bit more.
Springer for 3. No. Harris with the rebound. Garrett Taylor with the strip. Here she comes. Stops. Pops. Again, no good. Taylor has just 4 points so far for the Minutemen. Springer on the other end. Gets fouled by Javante Hill. Willie Taylor not happy with the call. That's going to put Springer at the line. Springer, the team's leading scorer. 5 of 7 from the free throw line coming into tonight.
Central's really going after the blocks tonight. They just have to be careful on the swing, on the follow through.
And substitutions for both teams. Megan Palmer comes in for Cretin-Derham Hall, replacing Kendra Harris. And Megan Tate comes in for Central, replacing Javante Hill. You were saying?
I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought.
Well,
I was watching the game and
Springer gets the back end. You were talking about Central with the blocks, and they already have 2 fouls.
Yes, thank you. 9 times out of 10, the ref is going to call that when you're swinging down, even though the initial block might look clean, with that follow through, more than likely you're going to hit somebody on the arm. So.
Many coaches have said if you're going to do it, swing up.
Right.
No good. Robinson Ricks fights for her own rebound, and we've got a foul. It goes against Megan Palmer. That's Cretin's first team foul.
And Sam was showing off a little bit of her vertical skills on that one.
Taylor, long 2, swish. Taylor coming into tonight with 62% with 2-pointers. It's 14-12 in favor of the Raiders. Springer for 3. Off the backboard and in. You don't see that often.
No, you don't, and whether you call it or not, it's still good.
Well, Steve Kerr made a career out of that backboard. One of the top 3-point shooters in the NBA.
Right. Some players really know how to use a board. Tim Duncan being another great example.
Johnson looking for the answer. No. Hendricks with the rebound. And a foul. It's going to go against Johnson. That will be her second. Excuse me, first personal foul. Team's third. 4 substitutions for Cretin-Derham Hall. Kaylin Wilcox and Kaylee Batterby are now in. We've seen a lot of substitutions from Amy Bellis early on.
Yeah, I'm assuming she's trying to keep her girls as fresh as possible.
Springer again. No. Rebound. Palmer, and she goes out to Wilcox. Wilcox pump fakes. 2-pointer short. Central will take possession. 9:25 to go. Now, you mentioned Duncan a couple times. Are you happen to be a Spurs fan by any chance?
I'm not, but my old post player days, I do love to watch Tim Duncan in the post. You don't see a lot of players use the backboard really what it's meant to be used for.
Taylor finds an open Johnson. Johnson will get the foul. She's going to the free throw line. Johnson, 1 of 3 from the free throw line coming into tonight. She doesn't get a lot of trips there, likely because of her role. Misses the first. Kendra Harris stepping back in. Javante Hill also in.
And that was a really good look for Thierra, and like I said, Kiana, some of the other players, they just need to be ready to knock those shots down.
And Johnson misses both. Wilcox to Batterby. Wilcox with its jumper. And Creighton pulls out to a 7-point lead. They haven't been in this situation in some time.
It's been a while, that's for sure.
We talked about earlier, Cretin losing the last 6 games to St. Paul Central, including their regular season matches and a couple sectional games. Springer with the steal, but the out-of-bounds line got her. Megan Tate comes back in, replacing Kiana Johnson.
And Coach Taylor is definitely not happy with his team on offense.
Hill weaves around, is blocked. Harris, I think, came up with it. She goes to Sally Bolin. Bolin leads the team in steals, but Taylor picks her off, and she's wide open to take it home. Taylor with 8 points. Taylor, 4 straight double-doubles coming into tonight, going back to the Centennial game. Bolin to Batterby. Inside to Palmer. Bolin out to Wilcox for 3. Bullseye! 22-14. Cretin-Derham Hall looking strong in the early going. Wilcox with 5. Robinson Ricks. Bullseye! Myra Cyrus. Now, I'm getting the numbers mixed up. Myra Cyrus steps in. She gets the 3.
A much needed one at that.
And she gets on the board. Wilcox now trying to go inside. Traveling violation. Looks like she wanted to go and then almost veered off course there. Yes. Almost like, whoa, I got Catavia Jones coming up.
Exactly. She got a little surprised and did the stutter step.
Where did she come from?
Right.
Hill to Robinson Ricks. To Taylor. Taylor has not been subbed out in this game yet. And Central slowing things down.
Well, you see that Cretin's just sitting in that 2-1-2 or 2-3 zone, really preventing any penetration.
Robinson Ricks misses the NBA 3. Bolin can't get the left-handed shot. Jones at the rebound. Robinson Ricks will draw the foul. Jones seemed like she wanted the ball. But Robinson Ricks will go to the free throw line. 8 of 13 from the charity stripe coming into tonight. The foul is on Sally Bolin, her first. Robinson Ricks gets the front end. Laura Hansen steps in the game, replacing Thierry Taylor. And Natalie DePalma is going to step in for Cretin here in a second. Robinson Ricks makes both, and she gets on the scoring column. Very clean game, only 3 fouls for both teams, so it's just 6.5 to go. Traveling violation on Cretin. In contrast to the Pat Patterson tournament we covered earlier, where fouls are piling up.
Well, that was a quick breather for Thierry. She's right back in it.
Hill trying to work off a Jones screen. Instead goes to Jones. Now they'll try that again. This time Hill's going to take it, and she gets Harris to get called for the foul. And Javante Hill's going to go to the line. She shooting under 50%, just 12 of 29. Fouls Harris's first.
And that's really what I'm sure really would like to see Central do more of, is really go at Kendra on the inside.
Hill with those rainbow threes. Harris with the rebound. Robinson Ricks with the steal, and she gets a three-point play the backwards way.
We're all tied up.
22 all. Robinson Ricks with 4. Harris, after that hot start, has cooled down significantly. Thierry Taylor with the steal. Robinson Ricks open again. Foul, count it! Foul is on Kaylin Wilcox, her first. I don't know if that was a great idea. Robinson Ricks was already open.
Right, when you see the player has a wide open layup, you know, there's no sense of fouling them. This gives them an extra point. But this run here that Central's making is really all coming from their defense. They really kind of stepped up the intensity of their press. As you see Sam and Thierry right here.
That full court press at Central's strength. For three, Wilcox. No. Oh, it goes in. It goes in. She got the bounce.
And it was interesting. I'm not sure if it hit the upper wire or not. Sometimes they call that out of bounds.
Well, they can't challenge in basketball, and we're going to have another foul on Cretin-Derham Hall. I believe it will go against DePalma.
Yeah, she was really pushing Thierry in the back on that one.
And now Cretin-Derham Hall, all of a sudden, are out of fouls to give. It was just a couple minutes ago, they only had 3 team fouls. Now they put Central in the bonus.
They have one more to give.
Well, they used them up. For Robinson Ricks for 3, no good. They're given 6 fouls as a team. Jump ball, possession will go with the Minutemen. 5:01 to go. It's early, but I've got a feeling this game could go down to the wire here. Cyrus again for 3. She is hot from behind the arc. 27-25. Cyrus with 6.
The nice thing about that is she had Kendra playing defense on her, so, you know, it's not very likely that your big post player is going to come out and defend the 3.
Springer wants Harris. Taylor's on her. Said she goes to Hendricks. Hendricks traveling. No, a foul on Thierry Taylor. It looked like traveling, but the foul was...
Yeah, Thierry was playing Kendra just a little too physical inside.
And Taylor's going to step out. Megan Tate will step in. Wilcox to Harris to Hendricks. Hendricks tried to draw the foul, but to no avail. Cyrus with the pick. Hill, coast to coast, completes the layup. Just like that, Central looked like they were down on the ropes. They are up to a 4-point lead. Robinson Ricks can't get the bounce. And they had an easy 2 points, too. And now here comes a full court press. But DePalma gets out of it.
They really need to hustle to get back.
Springer tries to get the foul, and that doesn't work.
And this is what you see many times in basketball, where now the momentum has totally changed.
Cretin-Derham Hall trying to force Central to pick up some fouls, and it's just not working.
I think Central's really getting in a rhythm now in this game, getting a little more confident.
They were down by as much as 7. Hill, and 1. They're down by as much as 7 and now pull out to their largest lead of the game. Javante Hill breaks double digits. Or she will if she gets her free throw. The foul is on Kaylin Wilcox. And now Amy Bells is going to call timeouts. Cretin-Derham Hall out of fouls to give.
And the way Javante takes it to the basket, you would never imagine she was a freshman. She has no fear in going to the basket, which is a great thing to see.
Well, it kind of runs in her family. She is the cousin of Minneapolis South player Taylor Hill.
Yeah, I bet they've had a few one-on-ones in the backyard.
And they could very well have some one-on-ones this season, depending on how things go in the Hopkins tournament, if Central and South end up playing each other. And the Twin Cities game, Central, while weak, are still the heavy favorite to win the St. Paul City Conference. Minneapolis South beat their crosstown rival Minneapolis North earlier this month. Roosevelt expected to be another obstacle. But
right, it is pretty likely that they will meet again.
That has become one of the greatest rivalries in the Twin Cities and possibly the state with the games those two have had against each other.
Absolutely. There's nothing more fun than two schools that really build a great rivalry that has gone on in the last several years in the Twin City game.
Went a little too far this spring, but hopefully it'll die down a little. Hopefully we won't see any repeat incidents like that. Javante Hill at the line. Too strong. Harris with the rebound. Hendricks to Springer. Hendricks open from the corner. She drains it.
And that's just something that Central's not doing a good job of. They're just really leaving the shooters open in the corner.
Cyrus now from the corner. Not this time. Rebound Taylor. She can't get it to fall, but she gets the rebound to Javante Hill. Cretin tried to break up the play. It will stay Central ball.
Kiana tried to squeeze it in between the defense. Thought she might be able to sneak that one in there.
Laura Hansen stepping in the game, replacing Kiana Johnson. Tate to Hill. Hill works around Hendricks, but can't get the shot to fall. De Palma goes to Hendricks. Hendricks thought about a three. This time tries to go for a two, and she gets called for traveling.
If I'm not mistaken, she's traveling quite a bit in this game. I'm not sure if she just hesitates when the defense comes on her.
She has a few new faces to work with this year. Javante Hill weaves through the paint, and she's the first Central player to break double digits.
What a great play. You know, she really can recognize the defense, and no one is stepping up to stop her, so she's going right to the basket.
Central, not quite the team they were last year, but fans have told me about their freshman class and the class that'll be coming to them next year. Kendra Harris draws a foul, and she'll go to the line. Fouls on Maya Cyrus, her first. I was saying that they're talking about all the new players that could come up with Central and perhaps start a new dynasty of high school girls basketball with that school.
Well, you know, that's where it starts. And I think that with the success Central's had over the last few years, you have to get it down into your younger programs, and that's really how you really build the teams for varsity.
Well, you can't simply transfer anymore. Harris gets the back end. She leads the Cretin-Derham Hall players with 11. Two minutes to go in the first. 33-29, St. Paul Central leads. Cretin playing in a, I want to say, modified zone. Hansen stepped on the line.
Yeah, it looks like they're almost playing a box, a 2-2 with a box and one, basically. Natalie De Palma still all over Thierra.
Springer goes to Hendricks. Harris, well, no good. Hansen with the board. Robinson Ricks stops, pops, gets the backboard uses the backboard to get it to sink.
Nice shot.
Robinson Ricks with 8. Hendricks thought about a three. Instead looks for an open Hoffman, but she gets blocked. Hansen comes up with it.
Nice block by Thierra.
Central's inside defense doing its job. Robinson Ricks for 3. Short. Rebound Harris, less than a minute. There's no shot clock. Cretin could wind out the clock if they want. Now with an open Hendricks in the corner. Too strong. Harris gets the rebound. She tries to clean it up. No good. De'Ara Taylor comes up with the ball.
Looks like Willie's going to bring it down to the last shot.
Look for Central to do something with about 10 seconds. Perhaps sooner. Taylor. She has 6 seconds. Running out of time. She's got to get it. Well, got to get it off. Foul on Cretin-Derham Hall. It's on to Palma. That's her second. De'Ara Taylor could put 2 more points on the board before the half ends. She gets her first.
De'Ara was really trying to use the picks that they were setting Catavia at the top there, and
misses the back end. Cretin has one more. No, Robinson Ricks picks it up, and she can't get it to fall. Still, St. Paul Central down by 7 at the end of the half. They're up by 7, 36-29.
The Concordia Golden Bears didn't show it, but they were brimming with excitement to play their only exhibition game against Minnesota.
It's fun to play your home state's Division I school since it is the only one in Minnesota.
Not even qualifying for the Division II Sweet 16 last year could prepare them for the challenges they would face with a Division I school. Concordia has 2 more players above 6 feet than the Gophers, but Fessler says Minnesota will have the physical advantage.
They'll be more athletic, they'll be bigger, stronger, well prepared. We're hoping to get to the rim and use our post play.
I got really excited. I just knew that our team was going to be pretty good. Our post play struggled in the first half, but after a while I think we got it. Going a little bit, making some more baskets.
It was frustrating at first because when I was calling plays, no one could hear. It's a different scene for us. Different scene for some of our freshmen who have never played. It's a lot louder than the Gangelhoff.
It helps you just being strong, being mentally strong, knowing at a different level and tempo and different strategies that come about and learning and adjusting on the fly. Watch out, stay with the team.
Minnesota won the game 69-54, but a loss was the least of Concordia's concerns for their first game.
Me and Chandrell know that what it's like to pound down with these girls, and now we're going to bring that back to the D2 level and see what we can do there.
Mike Peden, University Report.
St. Paul Central High School, where Keystone Productions proudly presents high school girls basketball. Today we are televising Cretin-Derham Hall and St. Paul Central. We will now take a look at our in-game box score. For Cretin-Derham Hall, Kendra Harris leads all players with 11 points. She was 3 of 4 from the free throw line. Then it's Kaylin Wilcox with 8, Sarah Hendricks with 6, and Lisa Springer with 4. And that comprises all of Cretin's 29 points. For St. Paul Central, Javante Hill leads all players with 11. She is 2 for 3 from the free throw line. De'Ara Taylor's next with 9. Robinson Ricks with 8. Maya Cyrus with 6. And Catavia Jones with 2. And if you'd like to purchase a DVD copy of this and any other game we televise this season, now available in widescreen format, please contact Keystone Productions at www.keystoneprod.com to order your copy of high school girls basketball. Well, Tracy, we saw 2 completely different teams in the span of 18 minutes.
Yes, we did. It'll be interesting to see how they come out this half. I think Central really got lackadaisy there in the middle of the first half, and they didn't bring the intensity on defense. And we can see what happened at the end of the half when they really stepped it up a little bit. But they have got to do a better job, especially on Kendricks, with that three-point shooting. They're just not getting out on her like they should.
Well, Hendricks was 6, so she's only made 2 of those. So she hasn't been too much of a threat yet. In fact, I'd say the bigger threat was the snow. We've had snow the last couple of years in this series. If this keeps up, I might start calling this the snow showdown.
Yes, you're right. I remember last year how snowy it was when Central played Cretin.
We had some trouble getting to that game, too. Original starters back out on the floor for both teams. Cretin will start with the ball. Again, they're in white, Central in red. And, oh, what happened? The Cretin scoreboard just went off.
Oh, there it is.
Wilcox to DePalma, to Hendricks, to Springer. And Cretin-Derham Hall is by no means out of this, but it was about this time last year. DePalma starts with the basket, and she gets on the board. It's about this time last year, Cretin was hanging in there with Central. They were in fact down by 7, and then they just got cold. Central was able to run away.
Yeah, they really did run away with it in that game. I don't think we're going to see that in this game.
Jones' shot was blocked by Harris. Hendricks for 3. No. Harris with the rebound. No foul. Jones with the block. The possession will stay with Cretin-Derham Hall. On my way back up here, I saw Cretin-Derham Hall had some famous visitors, or somewhat famous. Lauren Gimmeyer, as Harris goes into Hendricks, no good. Lauren Gimmeyer's visiting. Gimmeyer got a scholarship to play on the women's volleyball team. They got to the second round of this year's NCAA tournament before losing to Northern Iowa. De'Ara Taylor tried to get the steal, and Lisa Springer picks it up.
Great hustle by De'Ara.
Cretin will get another chance.
And speaking of Lauren, I'm sure she could have played at many places for basketball as well. She was a great shot blocker.
Yeah, there was some speculation that if she played her senior year with Alyssa Carroll a couple of years ago, that Cretin-Derham Hall could have done some big things that year. But
yeah, it really would have been interesting to see how that team would have come together for sure.
Of course, you're not complaining, are you?
Absolutely not. That worked out great for Central, that's for sure.
Wilcox drives, no. Hill picks it up. Out to an open Robinson Ricks, no good. Rebound goes to Jones. She tries, scores! A fadeaway jumper, and we've got a foul. The foul's on De'Ara Taylor. That's probably not the way you want to come out of a play. Cadavia Jones with a tough fadeaway, and then De'Ara Taylor gets called for his second.
Yeah, and you know, Mike, I didn't see that at all. I didn't see the play.
The DePalma got tripped, or DePalma stumbled. I didn't get a great look at it, but Taylor may have stepped on her, made contact. Central comes back with the steal. Javante Hill picks it up. She'll take it herself and scores! Hill with 13 points.
Once again, just showing her fearlessness and going to the basket so strong.
And she's only a freshman. Springer to Harris. Back to Springer.
Now, Central needs to watch this weak side. They had 3 Cretin players over here and only De'Ara Taylor.
Kendra Harris exploited that early on.
Yes, she did.
Hasn't seen too many baskets since. In fact, she hasn't had a single field goal since her 10-point stretch. Cretin not able to penetrate inside. Springer for 3. Bullseye! Springer with 7. 40-34. For 3, Robinson Ricks, no good. Jones with the rebound, cleans up the mess. Jones had 2 points in the first half, already has 4 this half.
Great job by Catavia working in the paint. That's awesome. Really using the backboard well, which we know I like.
Foul is going to go against St. Paul Central on Kiana Johnson. Catavia Jones, not related to Georgie Jones. St. Paul Central's previous post player. Foul is Johnson's second. And Central doing well to open the half. They don't want to get themselves in foul trouble. One of the keys to the game. I think there's been an ongoing key to the game if you're Willie Taylor. Just stay out of foul trouble. Harris from the line. Swish.
Yeah, anytime you play such an aggressive defense and do a lot of full court press, you got to be really careful to stay out of foul trouble.
Harris with 13 points. Robinson Ricks goes to the hole. She's going to go to the line. The foul is on Kendra Harris. That will be her second personal.
And that was a great recognition by Sam. Looking at the left lane being wide open, a lot of times you see players not take that left lane because obviously their left hand isn't their strong.
Robinson Ricks with her first. She is averaging 9.8 points per game coming into tonight. And she just passed that average.
I think Sam is going to be one of those players that Central really sees develop over the year.
Interestingly, with Central, they're up by 8. De'Ara Taylor, though, well below her average of 21.8. So she's put up 9, but Central is proving they can do fine without her, at least in this game. Hendricks inside, in and out, rebound Jones. Cretin playing man. DePalma still on Taylor. Now they're switching to the box. And Central, Robinson Ricks drives again. No good. Rebound Hendricks. And DePalma goes down. No foul this time. Hendricks to Harris. Harris, I think someone got a hand on that. Jones picks it up.
Yeah, it looked like Catavia got a hand on that.
De'Ara Taylor steps on the line. Cretin so far doing a good job of stopping De'Ara Taylor, but
and I have to say it's very, very difficult for players like De'Ara Taylor to be in a box and one all game. It's very, very tiring physically. And it can get very frustrating at times. So it is very hard to play through a box and one.
Willie Taylor subs her out. Wilcox thought about a 3. Central playing their man. Springer trying to get around Hill, tries to push her off, spins around, loses the ball to Jones.
Oh.
And Jones, that was an ill-advised pass.
She had the right idea, just a little too strong.
Javante Hill tries to get the pick. Springer goes to Batterby inside. She gets the roll. Batterby with her first points of the game. 2-possession game again.
And even though we're seeing Cretin score on some of these, the nice thing that Willie's got to be happy with is they're getting a lot of deflections, and that just shows that your defense is working. Got to work a little bit harder, but the fact they got their hands all over the place, that's a good sign.
New player in for Central, Sierra Smith, number 5. Tate on the line. No. Rebound, Robinson Ricks. Central winning the rebounding game, but Willie Taylor is going to call timeout. We were talking about De'Ara Taylor earlier, and tonight she has 9 points. In her previous games, previous years, she had 22 points per game her freshman season at Como Park in the conference games. Last year when Central was 32-0, she had 11 points per game. Last season, 14 points per game. This season coming into tonight, 21.8 points per game. She's really stepped up over the years.
Yes, she has, and it's amazing the different roles that Thayer's had to take on. Her freshman year being at Como is very similar to her senior year now at Central. She was the go-to player, asked a lot of as a freshman. And then she was still able to contribute. You see her numbers, with all the talent the last couple years on Central's team, still able to average and contribute as much as she did. That says a lot.
Back to action here. Taylor for three. Short. Tries to save it. And it goes off to Palma.
Once again, great hustle by Thayer.
Taylor, she wants a piece of the action. No good. Robinson-Rich with the rebound. Wilcox with the block. Now Central comes in with full court press. Hill win for the steal. Now she's got Batterby open. Jones with the block. Harris picks it up. She can't get the bounce. Ball still live. Goes to Jones. Hill is open. Jones too strong. Hill tries to save it. Instead goes to DePalma. A lot of fast break opportunities not going Central's way. But Central with the full court press again. Leaves an open Wilcox. Short. That's going to go to Cretin-Derham Hall.
What a tough break for Central. They worked so hard in that series. Catavia was really working down low.
Maria McQuillan steps in for Cretin-Derham Hall, number 12, 5'7", junior guard. Harris, long two, no good. Hill tried to get the board and stepped out of bounds. .9:28 to go in the second. Game is not over by any means. Both teams cold. Lisa Springer for three. No good. Hill was looking for Johnson. Johnson got fouled by Springer. That's her second. And now Harris is going to step out. It looks like she was getting looked at.
That's one of those unfortunate calls for Cretin where you're just running the floor and get tripped up and get called for the foul.
Olander now in the game for Cretin-Derham Hall. Katie Olander, 5'4" senior guard, number 24. Batterby back in. Johnson to Robinson-Ricks. Back out to Johnson. Kicks out. Was looking for Cyrus, but said Central reset. Robinson-Ricks, long three. No good. Rebound Olander. And Cretin. The full court press works this time. Double dribble on Cretin-Derham Hall. They might want to send some help down there in the backcourt.
Yeah, and Thayer actually was looking for some help from one of her teammates to trap there, but she ended up getting the job done all by herself.
Well, she certainly has the capabilities to do it. Javante Hill moves it to left side, sinks it. 15 points for Javante Hill. She leads all players. She was averaging 9.6 points per game before tonight. No backcourt violation. No good. McQuillan. Rebound Taylor.
Yeah, great weak side rebound by Thayer.
stops, pops, in and out. Rebound. Olander. Taylor cold in this half. Hendricks goes up, goes to McQuillan, but she can't get it to fall again. Shooting not a strength for either team today.
No, they really did go cold in the last several minutes here.
Wonder if yesterday's weather had anything to do with it. I know I was freezing.
Me too.
Hill. Resetting, 7 minutes, 20 seconds to go. Johnson, open three. Too strong. Cyrus tries to get the board, but can't quite get there in time. Massive substitution for Cretin-Derham Hall. We have Harris, Lisa Springer, DePalma, and Megan Palmer all back in the game for Cretin-Derham Hall.
Megan Tate came back in for Central as well, for Maya Cyrus.
Springer off the Harris screen. Hendricks, up, no good. Rebound Johnson. Less than 7 minutes to go.
Central really played good defense in that series.
And they're slowing things down. Not a style of ball you've seen in the last couple of years. They had a lot of players that could do things quickly. Now we're seeing a much slower team.
Yeah, I would say that they're probably trying to take advantage of the scoreboard a little bit.
Well,
they got an 8-point lead.
The way this half is going, killing the clock may not be a bad idea. Tate, no good. The rim is no one's friend today.
Oh, they're really having a tough time knocking it down.
No foul. Harris' shot is blocked. DePalma with the board. Cretin running out of time. They've got to get things going soon if they want to come away with the win. They were up by 7 in the first half. Have not led this half. And DePalma throws it. Springer wasn't ready. Backcourt violation. 5:51 left in the game.
It would be really nice to see Central run their offense here, take their time, be patient, get a good shot.
Shots not falling for Central. Tate, long two. That doesn't fall. Rebound Cyrus. She gets blocked. And a foul's going to go against Megan Tate. But neither team even close to the bonus. That's Tate's first, so there may not be much of an opportunity for either team to score points in the free throw line. It's an aggressive game, and the referees are letting them play.
Yes, they definitely are. And you know, Mike, I don't think I've seen a game with so many blocked shots in a high school game in a very, very long time from both teams.
Springer for three. No good. Right for the rebound. Jump ball. Possession will go to Central. 5 minutes left in the second. I have not seen both teams go this cold in shooting.
Yes, if we look at past history, usually it goes in one team's favor or the other.
I'd like to see Central shooting numbers. I mentioned earlier they were 26% from the floor against Becker, and Willie Taylor told me if they keep shooting like that, they're not going to win too many games, although they're up by 8 here. Largely because Cretin isn't doing well either.
Right. And a lot of times you see that at the beginning of the year, just a sign that the girls really need to get in the gym and put up a lot of shots.
Cretin sensing they're running out of time, playing with a little more urgency now. Taylor drives, no. Springer picks it up. Got Hendricks. Hendricks open on the left side. Oh my goodness! Behind the back. Hendricks finally breaks the scoring drought. Timeout. Holy cow.
That was just a great move. Recognizing where the defense was and going with the reverse, that was a really nice move.
Hendricks, not Cretin's fastest player by any means, but she turned on the afterburners to finish that.
Luckily, she had a few steps ahead of him, so.
And once again, it's a two-possession game.
Well, and Central is going to have to keep in mind as we go through the stretch here that Cretin is not the team that is just going to lie down quietly. We've seen them over the past several years play to the bitter end and make some really great runs. So
the last time Cretin beat Central was a triple overtime game in 2004, 5 years ago, 5 seasons ago. Last time Cretin was within striking distance was December 5th, 2006. Cretin was down by 25, came back to within single digits, still lost by 8. Since then, it's been all Central.
But that game was so impressive from Cretin's standpoint, just the fight that they have.
And they're showing some fight now. Taylor missed for 3. Harris with the rebound. Cretin's got to hurry. They're down by 2 possessions, but they can't waste any time. Harris out. No good.
Oh.
Foul. On. And that's going to put Kendra Harris back at the line. The foul is on De'Ara Taylor. That will be her 3rd. Taylor has not scored a single point this half. Harris, only 3 points this half. She scored 10 in the first. She's going to the line to try to pull this game closer. Misses the first.
And this is exactly what Cretin wants for the end of this game. They want to stop the clock, get on the line.
Harris gets the back end. So Cretin cuts it to within 5. And Willie Taylor's going to call timeouts. He knows his team's in trouble. They have been in a scoring drought for the last several minutes.
And this is a really good timeout here. Things could get ugly, you know, a lot of times when the momentum changes. I'm sure Willie wants to talk about taking good shots and running their offense. And, you know, a lot of times when your shot's not falling, the best thing to tell your players to do is go to the basket. You know, a lot of times you'll run into that where your jump shot just isn't on that night. So you got to go strong to the basket and then try to get some three-point plays and get Cretin in foul trouble. Although I don't think that we'll be able to get him in that much foul trouble with just a few minutes left.
3.5 to go. One of the cleanest games I've seen in my short time calling basketball.
I agree. A lot of times the refs don't let them play this physical. It's more prevalent to a college game.
Well, I've seen my share of college games where the refs are pretty liberal with the fouls as well.
The one thing that I love about this reffing crew tonight is they have been consistent.
Cretin, and looks like they're playing the box. Devontae Hill opens. He tries to go up the left side, too strong. Jump ball, and possession will go to Cretin-Derham Hall. They have a chance to cut this to a one-possession game. And that would be huge, given the way this half is going.
Central really has to be smart here and play good defense.
Javante Hill with the steal, and Springer's going to get called for the reach-in. Cretin with 3 fouls to give, though, or they had 4 fouls to give. Now they'll have 3. It's Springer's third, but Cretin probably not concerned with fouls yet. They know they have 3 to give, so they can stop the clock a few more times if they need to.
Exactly. You know, there's plenty of time left. I think they'll just play good D here, try to go for a steal.
Lisa
Great
Springer
job
picks
right
it up.
there.
Hendricks looks for the Palma, and she was too strong.
In too much of a hurry, which happens a lot in a game in this situation. You want to score so badly, but you really need to be patient.
Both teams playing uncharacteristically. Ricks gets double teamed, goes to Taylor. Taylor goes to the hole, and she finally gets on the board. She breaks double digits. Her first basket this half, and it couldn't come at a more critical time.
And that's it.
Double dribble on
Cretin-Derham
Hall.
Sorry, that's a dangerous defense for Cretin to be playing where they're doubling the ball because Central does such a good job of penetrating to the basket. So as you can see, they double-teamed Sam, and she gave it to Thierry. Thierry was to drive right to the basket.
Hill looking to do the same, goes around Harris, and that will not fall. Central will keep possession with 1:55 left to go. Cretin might start using their fouls. There's no shot clock.
And Javante's really doing her best to get Kendra to pick up a few more fouls going to the basket.
Well, Sarah Hendricks will pick up her first. Again, Cretin had 4 fouls to give. Cretin with 2 fouls left now. The one advantage to this kind of a clean game and not fouling early, now you can use them. Springer tried to. Instead, Robinson-Ricks open. She gets the layup. It's a 9-point game. Cretin running out of time.
And really, Cretin doesn't need to panic here. They just need to knock down a couple shots. We know they got 3-point shooters.
If Springer missed, that just might do it.
They really need to go for the steal here.
Foul. Cretin still had 2 to give. And they will probably be playing foul and chase here to try to stop the clock. Unless they can force a pick.
I'm sure we'll see them go after pretty aggressive here. .115. Unfortunately for Cretin, they just don't have the speed to keep up with Central at this point.
Hendricks uses Cretin's last foul. That will be her second, but Central just too fast.
Yeah, when you need a steal, it's really hard to go against a fast team as quick as Central is.
We have less than a minute to go. And Taylor loses the ball to Harris. Goes to Springer. Springer couldn't get an open shot, and Central will take the ball with 48.6 seconds left. It looks like Central will escape with a win, but they need to find a way to get out of their shooting funk that's taken place over the last 2 games. Because they have a tough schedule ahead. Cretin uses up their last foul. So Robinson-Ricks will go to the free throw line. Because Central, they're going to be playing Eden Prairie to begin the Hopkins tournament. They have a game against Osseo later on this season, and then they have St. Paul Johnson to worry about in the St. Paul City Conference, so they need to find a way to get out of this funk, or they could be in trouble later on this season.
Yeah, they really do, and even though they finished this game strong, they did really get to knock down some shots that really would have given them some confidence. So they're going to have to spend a lot of time in the gym knocking down some shots. That's what's going to bring them out of it.
Well, we were talking about changes at the beginning of this game. They've got another one they can use nearby. They have the newly constructed Jimmy Lee Rec Center. I went over there a couple times, and that is a nice facility.
Yes, it is.
Lisa Springer she gets fouled. She stops the clock with 33.2 seconds, but it might be too little, too late for Cretin. Springer will have a chance to get a couple more points up. Gets the front end. Well, as the game is wrapping up, we'll take the time to remind you that our next televised game will be December 22nd, Park Cottage Grove against Minneapolis South at Park High School in Cottage Grove. That should be a fun game. 2 top 10 teams going at it.
And that's always fun to see this early in the season.
Foul on Lisa Springer. PA announcer says 4th. The scoreboard says it's her 5th. Pretty much a moot point now. But the referees are discussing it.
Unfortunately, with 29 seconds left, it really doesn't make a difference, like you said.
Well, there's a quick discussion, and it is your 4th. Johnson makes the first, and it is nice to see something to build on for the next game, that Central's making these free throws here at the end of the game.
Right, because surprisingly, even though there's 29 seconds, if you can knock down a couple shots in the game, that really does help your confidence and bring it to the next game.
Willie Taylor's going to call timeout. Johnson, that was her first 2 points of the game, and Taylor calling timeout probably to give a quick lecture to the troops. Again, Central went several minutes this half without putting up a basket. Not characteristic of them. And Cretin-Derham Hall, they'll be looking to rebuild. They'll fall to 0-5, certainly not the way they wanted to start their season. They've got the Suburban East Conference. That includes Parker Cottage Grove. They've got Woodbury. They have their top player back this year, Sarah Hintz, after she recovered from injury. There's a couple other schools in there. Cretin-Derham Hall is going to have a tough conference schedule ahead of them, but they surged last season after starting slow.
Right, and like we said, I mean, it is a little bit deceiving. They've had some really tough games. You can see from this game tonight, they have a lot of potential, and they're a tough team. So I think we'll see them put some W's in the column before it's all said and done.
Fatigue may have came into play too, as you saw Central just had the speed at the end.
Yeah, I think Coach Bell has tried her best to keep her girls fresh, but when you just don't have that speed and quickness, it's hard to keep up with, that's for sure.
Taylor spins around, goes out to Hill. It looks like Central will be content to run out the clock. No, Robinson Ricks will try one more time, and it gets the bounce, and that's how the game will end. Central's winning streak against Cretin-Derham Hall increases to 7 games as they come away with a 56-43 win. Robinson Ricks with the exclamation point, and she finishes the game with 16 points. Central goes to 5-1. Cretin-Derham Hall falls to 0-5, and while they struggle for quite a bit in the second half, this Central team looks like, with a little bit of conditioning, they could be a contender once again.
Yeah, exactly. I think if they can learn how to put the basket in the net, you know, they're gonna be really tough. And we know most of Willie Taylor's teams, by the end of the season, they've quite improved. So I think that they're looking mighty good this early. And also with Cretin, I mean, you know, they're always a great team, and I think we're going to see them come along here in the next few games.
Well, it was fun calling a game with you. Again, if you'd like to purchase a DVD copy of this and any other game we broadcast this season, you can go to Keystone Productions at www.keystoneprod.com, now available in the widescreen format. Hopefully we'll get to work with each other again.
Sounds good. It was great working with you again, Mike.
Well, for everyone here at Keystone Productions, this is Mike Peden. So long, everybody.
This program was made possible in part by the continuing contributions from viewers like you. Thank you.